CSS, and JavaScript. Basically, because this is what entails website development. So before I go, I would like to make some clarification. Website development is divided into two parts. It is front end development and back end development. And front end, back end. You ask what is front end, what is back end. Now, front end development is that part that you see, that part that has to do with the browser that you, the user, is on your system and you're seeing. It also do with all that. Now, where backend comes in with backend, it has to do with the server, where all those storage, when you work with some e-commerce and you place some orders, where your orders go to, where all those information you are seeing outside that this site is coming from, it's coming from the backend. So we have one connect them, which is our database. Those are backend, the server backend, then we use the API to connect the front to the back, and that's what makes it communicate. Yeah, I know all these might sound all big, but we get familiar with them. So what we'll strictly be doing in this part of this our training is front end development. And what does front end development entails? It entails HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and which is what we'll be doing. So today we'll be starting HTML because we are just going right into this. So, what is HTML? Now, HTML, which stands for the Hypertext Markup Language, is the fundamental language used to create the structure of web page. It is the skeleton of a web page, providing the basic framework for how a content is organized and displayed. So, how will I explain this? All right. If we really need our response, if it's in the chat or that, because I'll explain with this. All right. So, what okay. What makes us make up the human body? I need someone to answer that. If it's just a chat or anywhere, I really need a response. What makes up the human body?
The skeleton.
Yeah, the skeleton. We know that the skeleton is the first structures that come up. Thank you, Toby, for that. Thank you, Lady Skeleton. The skeleton is the first thing that comes up before the flesh is over on it. So that is what HTML is. The skeleton is what make this particular person this person. So that is what our HTML is. HTML is the skeleton of any website that you see. It is what carries. Sorry, the skeleton is HTML. Sorry, the HTML is the skeleton of a website. So we said, imagine the skeleton to be a set of instructions that we tell the web browser how to present information. Without it, the internet will be vast and empty. So that means it is the one that is telling it that this one is the heading, this one is the subheading, this one is the a minus or that. Everything is that. So this is how we know this is what HTML is. So how does HTML work? We say HTML use tags which are enclosed in an angle bracket, open and close. Angle brackets, now angle brackets, to define different elements of a page. This element can be an heading, a paragraph, an image, a link, and much more. Last week when we were talking about the internet and we were talking about that, I said what makes up your website is definitely a text, a link, an image, a video. All these, they get identified by a tag. Now, for example, we said the H1. The H1 is a tag that defines the most important heading on the page, where the P defines the paragraph. I might not explain this part well because we are still coming to make that, but this is how we notify things. Now, why is HTML important? You see, HTML is the foundation of web development. Whether you are building a simple personal website or a complex web application, HTML is the starting point. It is also essential for understanding how websites work and how to troubleshoot issues. Learning HTML is relatively easy. Like it is easy, very easy. You can start by creating a simple HTML file using a text editor and opening it in the web browser to see the results. One thing about HTML, like we say, is the skeleton. Putting the bones to the bones, telling it that A is here, B is here, D is here, like that. Oh, this word should come first and all that. And that's it. So that is basically what HTML is. Now we'll be diving into what entails HTML, what we use HTML for and all that. So I want to believe that most people have downloaded their VS Code, like they have dropped on the code because we'll be working with it too. So for now, let's still with this. We say a text editor. We might not still on with this. We said a text editor is a software application that allows you to create and edit plain text file. In the context of programming, text editor is used to write and edit code. So this part is just majorly we need a text editor where we need is just where we need to write our code, the application that assists us to use to write our code. And like we have said, he has dropped on the group chat that the text editor will be using VS Code for this training. So I would really like to see everybody have done that. So browser, yeah, you have to choose the right browser to use. You need to have the right browser to be able to display what you are doing. So what is a browser? We say a browser is a software that enables you to access and interact with content on the World Wide Web. It interprets our HTML, CSS, and JavaScript for us and displays it as a website, like the way we are seeing now. So some of the popular website browser that is there, we have our Chrome, we have our Microsoft Edge, we have our Mozilla, Opera Mini, and Safari. But now the essence of picking this browser right is because there are some tools that have been made available across some browser that is not on some that is the work of a developer. Now when you are working and you need some assistance, all this is needed. So I believe in this class we'll be using more of Chrome. I don't know of the next, but we'll be using more of Chrome. So that's it. It has a browser extension. We have something called developer tools. It helps you test your responsive design. There are some websites that you open on phone and you see that it's too magnified. You have to be pinching it to minimize it. So sometimes because of the lack of using the appropriate techniques or tools while building. So that is why we choose why choosing the browser you need is very, very important. So let us go into the matter of the day. Doc type in HTML. So in the World Wide Web, world of web development, doc type is declaration is one of the first things you encounter when creating an HTML. So what is this doc type that we encounter? Like why this is very important is like it is a very simple line of code actually, but it plays the crucial role on how the browser will interpret your HTML. Like it guides you, it takes to guide you everything you need to know about doc type. It's what tells the browser how it should interpret everything that you have written in that HTML file. So first, we say what is this doc type declaration now? Doc type declaration is an instruction to the web browser about what version of HTML the page is written in. It is not an HTML tag, but a declaration. It must appear at the very top of your HTML document before the HTML tag. So how does this look? You can see that. So just give me a minute, let me open my VS Code. So a doc type is written that open bracket, exclamation mark, then you write a doc type HTML and close bracket, and that is it. What this does is by interacting by telling the browser that this is the type of HTML that I've written. One thing about HTML is that HTML have updated, as everything is going update and update and update. All this terms to add update. Presently, we are using HTML5, and there has been growth from 1 up to 5. So you need to tell the browser which version are you using, and that is the essence of the doc type that we are writing. This is a minute. I want to use this to explain how to write a doc type. First, to know an HTML file, you end it with what we call, let us call it index.html. So for the browser or for your VS Code to even know that you are writing an HTML file, it has to end with .html. So sometimes when you are writing a text or a document, yes, let's use a document on Microsoft Word, it ends it with docs, right? If you are writing a PDF, you do .pdf. That way, it knows what type of document that is. Same thing goes for your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. If you want it to know that it is an HTML file, you have to end whatever name you are giving it to .html. If it is CSS, you do .css, and if it is a JavaScript file, you do .js. That is the first thing first. So they are coming to that. So we said for you to know, to for the browser to know what version of HTML you want to do, first thing first you write is open that. Can you see? Because I have some extension open, it's already telling me what is the first thing I need to write. So you need to do dash doc type HTML. This is it. So this is the first step you always do every time for you to declare your HTML. Are we good? Do you understand? Are we following? I need response. Alright, thank you. Now, next thing is the HTML structure. One thing about your HTML is that one thing that we see the skeleton is how you position anything is how it will be, right? In the skeleton body, we know we start from the head, you go to the neck, you go to the body, the hand. That is the position you have put them in. So the basic structure for an HTML document, anyhow you arrange your structure is how it is going to come. But there is a fundamental on what you will start with before you even start executing how you should do it. There is a basic that no matter how you want to write your HTML, or if you want to start from the tail or from the up, there is a structure you must follow, and that's what we want to do there. Says you know that doc type declaration is the first thing first. It says in the very first line in your HTML document is the doc type declaration. Like I have shown you, it is not a tag, but it's an instruction to the web browser about what version you should write. Now, after declaring that, the next thing you go is you call an HTML tag. Now, the immediately following the doc type declaration is the HTML tag. This tag wraps the entire content of your website in the sense that everything you want to do, everything you want to do in your HTML file that you want browser to know, it is wrapped inside the tag called HTML. So, I'm sorry, I think I skipped something. You do HTML, right? Close. Now, I skipped something right earlier. I didn't mention what these tags are. We have something that we call open tag and closing tag. Now, the opening tag is this first part here, which is the opening here without the forward slash. And the ending is the closing tag is with the forward slash. Anything you want to do has to be wrapped in between this tag. So opening tag is the starting of any tag, and the closing tag has to have the forward slash to end it. And that is why we said this doc type is not a tag but an instruction, because every tag, we have some tags that are not closed, we get there, but these tags like the HTML like this are tags that are closed, so they have the opening tag and the closing tag. Oh. Now that is the first structure you start with. Then inside this HTML, it is divided into two. We have what we call the head section and the body section. So the head section, what does this section? The head section is where you include metadata about your web page. This metadata can include the title of the document, its length, the style, characters, set declaration, and more. Through this section is crucial. It is very crucial because it has this following info. You have the title. When you see some page, like the way you see this meet.frontend here, that is the title, and this comes in the head section. Your meta character will specify which type of character you want the document to do. That's why you can see some websites that has Chinese and all that. It is specified for meta. Now, the other viewpoint, the meta viewpoint, width, divide, and initial scaling is for responsiveness, how a website, how it should look like on a laptop and how it should look like on a small phone. These are very important. And you see this link is very crucial because why? It is what links your HTML file to your CSS file. Like that. So all this is very important. So now we see example of the head section. This is how it. So let us do a practical section on it. Now we set title, which is let's say first we have the meta. Okay, so we are using the U C F A. Right. So this is an example of what we call a self-closing tag. You notice that I don't have an ending forward slash on it. So that one makes it a self-closing tag on its own. Do you understand? Now it is different from this. And I made a mistake. We said you need to have the edge section. So the edge section has to be the edge section has to have the opening and the closing tag. Then before you put the meta inside. So that one is very important. Very, very important. Please don't make a mistake. After you have your HTML file, then you have the head. Then that is inside the head is where the meta will be, because that is where carry the information. Then we say the next is what? Okay, the meta viewpoint. We say this is for meta name. Viewpoint. We say this is for to make the browser knows that was this to make the browser know what I'm sorry. This is to make the browser to know what device it is working with. If it is a laptop or a phone or a tablet, it has to know how it should scale from one point, how it should be wide from one screen to the other screen. That is the essence of this one. Then the next one should be the title. Now, what does this title do? Like we said, the title carries the name of the website, and I will name this my first HTML class. So this is just how you do the title. Now you can see the difference between the title and the meta. You say the meta is a self-closing tag, which does not need the forward slash and repeat of meta. But the title is not. So this is a full closing tag. Can you see that? This is the difference. That's why I said there is an two different type of tag: the self-closing tags and the open and close tag. So title has an opening and close tag. You start here and wraps whatever you need to write in between it. That's one. Then the last and another crucial part. Oh, sorry, I didn't finish this. We have the content, which is equals to device, social skill, device, dashboard. Sometimes we have boilerplates that have already arranged this for you, and you might not necessarily need to write this as you go ahead. But it is important that you should know that this is what actually entails the edge, because it is when you understand it that you can be able to use it wisely and not just temper with it anyhow. Now, the last but not the least is the link. This link, you can see here we have something called real style sheet. Now, you can use link to link plenty things in the sense that, but as long as it's in this head, this is to link it where you have an external something that you want to make use in your HTML. So, like our CSS file will be linked inside there. Like if you have another link, maybe you want to borrow a font from Google, you use this link here. So this is why it is another crucial thing in the head part, and this is what majorly what makes the head. Every other thing that gets to be displayed is on the body part. Are we clear on this? Are we clear on this?
Okay. If we have anyone that has questions, they can just raise up their hands so that we just address them because it's 7:30 now. So we can just address some questions, just a few questions before we the tutor goes ahead. And also, after the class, the link to these HTML slides everywhere will be sent to the group, so you all can go back to it and just go and refresh on everything she has said. All right. So if you have any questions, you can just ask, raise up your hands. I think a few people have raised up their hands. Right here, I think STCM Global. You raise up your hands. Are you here? Okay. Atiku Husseini. Okay, no problem. If you also have a question, even while the class is ongoing, you can always just type it out in the comment in the chat, and we'll pick it up from there. So you can always just type any questions you have in the chat, and we'll pick it up from there. All right, thank you. All right, on the class, you can go ahead. Thank you.
Okay. So the other part and the most and the other important part of the HTML tag is what we call the body section. Now, this body tag is where everything visible on your web page is. Now, like the way you are seeing all this that we have polyton and all this that makes it here that you can see it here, it's coming from the body. So that's why we said it is very important. The air just it just contain the crucial important messages that the browser is going to use to analyze what that web page is. But what it the details that the website entails is actually put on the body class in the body tag. So the body tag is done like this. Still inside the HTML, we open the body tag like this. Body, self, opening and closing tag, just like the head. Don't make a mistake of putting the body inside the head. They are two different things. The HTML is different. The HTML is the tag, the opening and closing tag that house everything on the website. Then it has two children, the head and the body. Now, inside the head, you say the head carries the information that will assist the browser to analyze all the things that that particular website is about. And some additional information, external informations are put in the head. Now, why the body? The body takes in everything that needs to be visible on that website. That is what it takes here. Now, however, instead of placing everything directly into the body tag, HTML5 introduced semantic elements to make sure the structure more meaningful and easier to understand. These elements include header, nav, main, aside, and footer. Now, I will explain it like this, and I think I need to do this live. We say header. Alright, before I jump into that, I am displaying what we are writing in our VS Code. Any of you take note of this? We wrote on the head, right? We said my first HTML class. That is what the head does. It assists the browser on little other information that you need. This is just it. Now in the body, back to the body. You said we have semantic tags called header. Header is basically used to write information that needs to be at the top, like that. Here we go. We say the header. We say the header element represents a container for introductory content or navigation link. To it typically entails the logo or the title of your website or your navigation menu. For example, I have a good example here. Can we all see the swirly thumb at the right hand side and our navigation on the left hand side? Well, it's on at the left hand side and navigation on the right hand side. Sorry, I didn't start with it. So this is an example of an header. So how do we do this? We say the header houses it. It's just for it to house it. And then the next one is what we call navigation. I'm going to explain the two together. So the navigation element is used specifically for navigation link. Although it often includes within the header, it can also be placed elsewhere depending on the design of your web page. It is where users find links to other sections of your website. So we say the header first entails everything like your logo, the navigation. So our logo should be, say, the H1, and we say logo. And we want to do the next one is navigation. And why do we have navigation? We just use it to house whatever link that you should have. All those links that you see on website that you can click on, the contact, the on, those are your navigations. But we use nav tag to house them. All these are just big elements that we use, big tags that we use to make our code very neat. This way, that's why we have the header. The header is just to tell us that header, oh, it is the first thing at the top that carries the introduction of that website. That is the header. The navigation, which is the nav, is just housing all the links that will be moved from one part of the website to the other. Do we understand that? So the next thing is the main element. Now the main element, we say the header. That means it's giving us the introduction part. The main element comes after the header, and the only thing we use main for is this is where we write all the information that you are going to see, which is the main body. That's why we use main body. So we say this is the main element. Okay, let's do something here. Let's do this is from NAFTA. And then you guys here, this is from Eda.
Hello.
Please can you mute your mic? So can we see that? We have this is from Eda. Then alright, so we have this is from Eda like we wrote here to tell us that it is coming from the Eda tag. And we have this logo. We have the nav, this is from nav, and then we have the main, this is from main. So can you see the way we are writing it top by top, from the top down to main, is how it's coming out here. But you see, it is not bringing header, is not bringing this. The only thing what these are doing for us is to make your code base neat. To let when somebody comes in and says, oh, okay, this is the header, the introductory part. Oh, this is main, so this is where the main content is, so you know where to do. It's just to make your work very neat. They are not the main tags that brings out things, but it is just to help us keep our work very neat. And that's why they are called semantic elements. They are just more, they have their meaning is embedded in the name. So when you see header, you know it's at the edge and at the top. When you see main, you know, oh, okay, this is the main content, like that. When you see footer, you know that footer is the foot is at the bottom, just to keep whatever content is there at where they are. One thing with HTML is how you write it, which I say the skeleton, how you write from the head down. It is how it's going to display. Is that clear? So that is majorly what the main element is. Now aside is more like when you have a side navigation, like we have here. This is majorly what we use aside for, or like we have at this other side we have on this page. Those are majorly what we use aside for. They are just to carry a small information we want to put in one side or the other. And what does aside do? We say the aside element is used for content that is related to the main element but is placed separately, like sidebar, advertisement. You know, some places you see some advertisement at the side. That is what aside is. That's why I explained. This is a sidebar. This is a navigation at the side. So this is it, and that's what we use aside for again. And this is another explanation of aside. So it is great place for supplementary content and enhance the user understanding of the main content. So how do we write this again? We do this like this. We do aside, opening and closing. Let us write again. This is on aside element. And when we go back to our page, here we go. We have it there. This is from aside element. So that is it. Now footer. We said a footer element. The footer element is found at the bottom of the web page and typically contains information such as copyright, contact information, or link to privacy policy. It wraps up the content of the page. So basically, it's at the down. Yeah, we have a quick example here. Can we see Faliton and just this information and IDs? And yes, down to this. These are things that you can place in the footer because they are basically at the end of it. They just carry your logos, your contact information. It carries the copyright. It carries the you can make some navigations tools can still be there. Just maybe you have scrolled down instead of going back to the top to pick a navigation, you can just move from there back to the top and all that. So this is basically what footer does, which is footer at the end of it. And when we come down here, we open our footer tag and we write again. This is on footer. And go back to our browser. We have it here. This is on footer. Let's complete it. Element. This way we have it. So basically, you see, we've already started small about our website, and this is just the structure that you need to do like this. And also, and the next thing you have is the closing tag. Like I've always said, there's the opening and the closing tag. The opening tag does not have the forward slash. It starts, and that's at the beginning. Then you have the content of whatever you want to put in between. And the closing tag is with the forward slash, and that's what ends it. Now, putting all what we have together in one place, this is what we eventually have. Oh, and I forgot to mention, when you have your HTML like this, you can specify the language here, like I said. English, for example, US English. I think I'm putting that. US English and all that. This is how you can specify that. So this is where we use to specify all that. So we just have our English here, and that way the browser know what language you want it to come out with. So a quick recap of everything. The first thing down, everything that you need to start with. A doc type, declaring it first. You have your HTML that has everything and that specify the language. You have the header tag and you have the body tag, everything like that. And we say the header carries um the information that is not on that you see here, but at the top, like this, and assist the browser to tell more about the website. And then why the body carries everything that is displayed to you that you get to see. And that is it. So we said these are the main structure, these are the basic structure, these are what you see back to back of why you move with HTML. So this is the basic structure of an HTML file. Hmm? Now we'll be talking about tags. What exactly are these tags? So we say
Okay,
HTML tags.
let's just pause a little and take a few questions. I think I have a few
Okay.
in the comment section and the chat.
Alright.
Castro said, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt because I came in late. But please, could you just say something about the meta tag if you can get that one?
Okay, so we said the meta tag, we have two types like we have here. This one is to help us specify the character set that you want, the way the characters are to come out. You know, we have some character sets. Can't give full details on that, but character sets, the characters that should come out with this. Then the metal, this second meta is help us when we come to responsive design. It helps us kill, which is trying to tell the browser that check the device. If this is how, like, check the device. If it is a laptop, do like this. If it is a phone, come down, shrink. If it is a tab, you can shrink or you can expand. So this is what it does. Those metals, like you said, the edge just give more details to the browser on what to do, and that's what this wants to assist us to do, basically. So I hope I have answered that.
Castro, are you there? Is that okay for you? Okay, the next person that has his hands up, Obed Jeremiah.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Hi, good evening, Jeremiah.
Yes, my sorry. First of all, sorry for joining late. My question is, I saw how you write some this by the side. Sorry, I came late. I don't know how you do that. I don't know whether you have explained that. But in the side example, I saw there are some links by the side, and then there are some writings again in the middle. So that one by the left that you showed previously, I don't know what is the tag for doing that one.
All right, so I understand. So we said something that aside those supposed to additional information but that are not in the main tag. So the main tag is after the header, which is the stop. The main should have been all here, but because we need two additional separate messages, so this is our main here. This is our sidebar, and this is another aside. Now the tag for aside is this. Where is that? You call it aside as it is. You just write it in an opening and a closing tag. That is why you do for aside. And we say aside helps us to have, you can house a sidebar. You just want the small information like this side to just be there. That is what aside does for us. I'm not able to answer
So
that, sir.
So that means that you don't have to divide your page into two, or the screen into two, so that it's just like dividing the page into two.
Yeah, it's just like dividing the page into two, telling you that this small one, I just want it to be in this side for now, and the other page to be my main content. So it's just to give an additional assistance to the main, basically.
Okay, thank you, ma.
You're welcome.
All right. All right, then, let's just take one last question before we continue the class. Atiku Husseini. Atiku Husseini, are you here? Okay, it seems he's not here. Castro, I think we've called you out on the web, but we're not here. Are you here to speak?
Okay, yeah, I'm here now. It's just a line of thought. I just wanted to, I just wanted her to clarify. So, my thought is, if I should have write out aside, immediately the content inside the aside takes to the left or to the right. Is that correct?
No, no, it does not automatically stay in the left or the right. That is where your CSS comes into the place. But one thing is that it just assists the browser to know that, oh, this is an aside, this is it. Majorly, they are not touching anything. Like you said, we call them semantic tags. And why is that? It's just to give meaning to those tags and just to help you structure your HTML. Did you notice that no matter how, even if I had it in the header or in the main, in the nav, all of them still came at once and it's not changing anything. But it is for you now, the writer and the reader is for you to know that, okay, oh, this is my introductory part. It just help you keep your work. Just imagine I don't have all this. Let me remove that. And I'm just writing this is, and it just keep going and you go. Um, like that. See, and I keep going. Okay, that should be the header. Will I be using all this like this now to just be? Is it that I want to be using to specify this? Okay, so this is my main, and I want to go again. This is my. Do you see how congested it is? It keep going like that, and you don't know which is which. Do you understand? So majorly all those semantic tags are used to help you out and keep your work neat and more understanding. So you will know that, this is my header, so this is what my header does for me. This is where, okay, this is the header. So when you are coming to your code, I know that, oh, all this is in the header. Like, so all this now can be moved to the main and say, oh, these are my main element content, so it should be inside main. So do you see that no matter how, I know where main stops, I know where aside starts from, I know where footer starts from. Do you understand? So that's basically it. Is not that it automatically stays in the left or the right. No, it's where your CSS comes in. It is just to help keep your code base neat and your HTML file readable. Because it is not only you that will come and check that. Yes, you are the one using it for now, but how will somebody else come to see your work if your work is just jam packed online? So that's why we say it is the basic structure. That's why we know that your skeleton has a basic structure. If they are calling skeleton, you say the head, the hand, your shoulder, your knees, and toe. Those are just the basic structure of a skeleton, and that is what we have here. So I hope I've been able to answer that.
Yeah, I get it now. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So, yeah, Dokas can carry on. Thank you.
Okay, so now what actually entails an HTML tags this is tags what you write using everything in your HTML are tags, and you can see that from the beginning where we're even starting the HTML itself, we have tags. We are starting with tags, and that is how the HTML gets to read what you want it to do. So what is this tag itself? We say HTML tags are the building block of a website used to wrap content in a specific way, defining the type and style of the content. We say tags are usually enclosed in an angle bracket like this, open angle and closing angle, and the name. Most tags come in pair with an opening tag, like I have said, and a closing tag. Although some are what self-closing tags. Now, understanding how these HTML tags work is very crucial for creating your own website, because everything, like we say in the HTML, is tag. So if you don't understand what that is, you literally don't know what HTML is. Now we have different type of tags, and we will start from the heading tags. We have things we call the heading tag, the paragraph tag, the link tag, and all that. So we have the P tag in this example. We say the P has the opening and the closing. The text inside this tag, this is the paragraph, is the content that will be displayed in the website. Like you see, all those tags that we had initially, we were not there. It is only the content inside that will show. But if you come to your code base, you can see how many tags that we have there. Yeah. Now, so we have the edit tags. The edit tags are what we call H1 to H6. And what are they used? These are basically used to define headers in the sense that, you know, like we have HTML tutorial. This is an heading tag. So you have this as maybe this is could be an H1, then this should be an H2. It's still an heading, but not the first heading like that. So this is what we call so H1 is the very most important tag. Why is that it's used to define all this heading that you want. You know, there's no how you're writing an article or something that you can see that you don't have an heading. So that is your H1. Like this HTML one, H1. Now your H2 can be a subheading and H3 can be, it's just all of them are heading. From H1 to H6, they are all headings. And how do you write them? Like I've used the H1. See, do H2 and let me say hello H2. Then let's do logo and hello H1. Here we go.
H3.
H3, hello H3, and go H4, hello H4, go H5, hello H5, and go H6, hello H6. Now, can we see they are just defining heading? So, from these to these are called heading tags, and they are not self-closing. They have their opening tag and their closing tag. So, I want you to see something here. Did you notice the difference? See, the H1, like I said, is more important because it is the heading, and you see how bold it is. The H2 can be your sub heading. This one next. This one is just an heading or you want something to come out cool.
Your screen is not
H5.
showing though.
Can you see it now?
Your screen is not showing.
No,
The
this
screen
is
is
my web.
showing. The screen is
This
showing.
is okay. That means it's his network. All right, thank
Okay,
you.
sure.
Alright, for everyone that has
I guess your
questions,
network.
can you just refresh your browser, refresh and join again? Probably maybe that will help.
Okay, thank you. So you see, H1 is the biggest. You can see it compared to H2, compared to H3. So basically, we use H1 first for when you want to talk about the a title. I'm coming out like this is my first HTML class. Next, you have a subheading that you just under it that you have to explain. First, oh, my front end class can be my H1. Then your sub can be HTML class. Another subheading can be CSS class. You can use H3 to like okay in the inside HTML class we have tags like we have mentioned. So you can use H3 to specify tags. And I use H4 to do it is just they are all headings, heading something, right? But they have more details to them. So sometimes we don't use H6 is almost like basically not useless, but it is part of the edit. There are places where you want to use it that you don't want your edit to be all big, but you just need something but to specify it's an edit somewhere. You use your H6, you use your H5 to like it. You can see that your P even without a tag set, it is bigger than the AC, but you see that it is bold than the other ones because as long as it's an H something, it is big as an edit tag. Now the next tag to is the A tag. Now, you know we said we have links in our website, and we talked about one link we had. Please don't mix it up. Now, the A tag does what? It defines the hyperlink which allow user to click and navigate. Let's do it here. It said A tag. Let's come to the meaning. Let's use means. See A tag. See as an and you close it here, and that's all. So when you have I don't have an image here, so but let's use this. This is the image. All these additional things you see here are called attributes. We get to attribute like the same way this arf is an attribute, this source is an attribute, and this alternative is an attribute. Now why is it called source? Source is like this is the source of this image, go to this particular place and get image, and that is source. Alternative is when you cannot get the source, show this alternative thing there, and that's definitely what we're going to see. And there we go, which is telling you is an image, but since you could not get the source, it's telling you this is an image. So alternative is used to describe what kind of image you put there, and it is also used for screen readers, and says that those that are blind while building, when it is reading for them, it use whatever you write in the alternative for them, write in the alt for and read that. So it's that is the description of the image there, and that's all. And that is it. You see, the image is showing. So they are a self-closing tag. It's different from the H1 tag, it's different from the H2. And I think another crucial tag we've omitted is P tag. P tag, like we say, is paragraph. So every other thing aside from the header that you are writing is inside the P tag. And you do the wrong like that. So can you see it? This is the P tag. That is how the P tag works. Let's see, it has its own spacing, different from others that we just wrote anyhow. So this is how a P tag is. Just to give you, oh, you have a paragraph. Now, paragraph does not mean it will indent it the way you used to write in your notes. It is just telling you P tag is every other information as long as it's not an header or it's not a link or it's not an image. It is in the P tag. Now, we have break. This tag is used to insert a break line. It says that okay, beside this my P, we know it is long and we want to break it from here. We want this side to stay in one line and this side from this side to stay in one line. So we do break like this. Ah, now we have break. And this makes it a self-closing tag too. And by default, when we come back here, can you see it? This one starts from a new line and this one, but it's still inside one P tag. So that's what we use break to do. We want it to start from a new tag, and that's what it does for us. Now, next we have the HR tag. This tag is used to insert an horizontal line or horizontal row that usually separates content on the page. It's often used to divide section, and it's also a self-closing tag. So let's say I want a horizontal line between my main and my aside. So I just do this, a self-closing tag, and by default we have that. Can you see the line? You use it to draw a line across your page because we want a difference to differentiate. So sometimes when you see tiny lines like this, it has to do with your horizontal lines. And that is it for our tags. So you can see that everything that we have to do in the whole HTML page, it just has to do with tag, from one tag to the other tag. So you need to know your tags are very important to know, and it's important to know which element is inside and what attribute is assigned to one particular tag, and that way you will know how to use which particular tag, where you should use what this tag is doing, and where you should use the tag. Are we going ahead? Yusuf, I don't think he's there.
Yes, sorry, what did you say?
All right, we can continue, right?
Yes, we can. Yes.
All right, let me just finish this part. Please bear with me. Let's finish element and attribute, and we know we start from the text formatting and style as tweak. Now we say HTML element. In the HTML, an element is a piece of content that is enclosed between a start and an ending tag. The tag are the instruction you give to the browser on how to display and content. Then an HTML element consists of the opening tag, it marks the start of an element, then the content, and then the closing tag. So approximately what an element is from this opening tag plus the content to the end. That is what an element is. So all that is the actual element plus its content and everything. That is what an element is, basically. So another example of an element is the title. So the title elements specify the title of the web page which appears at the browser top. It is crucial for SEO, search engine optimization, and user navigation. So that way, you see, I know this is where my first HTML class is. I know this is my Peloton, and I know this is my meet. So this way, the title helps us to do that. And so the element, like we say, starts from the beginning to the ending. So when we talk about the body element too, we say the body element contains all the content that is visible to the user, which is everything here. And which is such as the text, the image, the link, the everything within the body tag. So approximately everything from here down to here is the body element. Then we have the P. The P says the P element define a paragraph. Like I said, it is used for a block of text, and browser automatically adds some space between and after each paragraph. This is it. So if I come back here and specify another P, let's do another P and do another ring. By default, when we go to our browser, can you see it has added a space from this one to this one, because this is one paragraph. It knows that this is one paragraph and this is another paragraph. The same way it gave a space from H1 or to H2. And why these ones are combined is because we just keep them there. There's no tag, so the browser is just putting them there.
Same.
And that's it. So this is a whole element from the big opening tag to the closing tag is what an element is, including the content within. So, in conclusion, HTML element helps you structure your content in a way that is meaningful and accessible to the user. That's all. So, attribute. Like I said when we were doing I was explaining anchor tag, which is for link. We said an HTML attribute as special was used inside the opening tag. It is only inside the opening tag to control the element's behavior or provide additional information. They are always written in the form of name value pair and appear inside the element of the tags. General syntax looks like this. See, this is the element name, which is the tag name. Then you have whatever attribute you are assigning to it, which is the attribute, then the value you are giving to the attribute. Then that's it. So for example, like I said, is the is the anchor tag, sorry. The anchor tag has the ref attribute, and why is that it is used to provide additional information telling the anchor tag that this is where you are going to, this is when click, this is the link you are going to. So in this case, we say the A is the element hyperlink, the ref is the attribute, and the example is the value assigned to that ref. So attribute attribute provides information about an element, such as where a link should take you, that is ref in an A tag, what text should appear when you hover over an image, that is title in an image tag, or how wide an element should be, width in a div or image tag. So another example is the source. Like I said, in the image, we have that in the image tag, we have it in the iframe and script. You learn this more when you come to JavaScript. Tags. The image tag, like we have here, where's my image? Like we have the source, like I said, it gives additional information by telling the image that this is the image you want to display. And the out here, but if the source is not available, have it can display, and it is also there behind the scene waiting. Sorry about that. And back to this. Now, so you see it here, you can see it, the source writes the image or JP and alternate alt, which is that. Now, how attribute enhance web development? Attributes are vital for creating functional accessible, and visual appealing website. They allow developers to control the appearance and behaviors of elements. It provides additional information to the users and search engine, improve accessibility for users with disability. Like I said, the alt text or screen readers, I keep mentioning that. Then it facilitates interaction with script and style sheets within the, yeah, I forgot about that one. Not the style sheet. This link, all these other parts are attributes. The same way on this method that you are calling this character set is an attribute. The name is an attribute to this method element. If you see it's only on the method element is used. So this real and this rf2 is also another attribute to this link. So do you understand? This way they are very important for us. Now for instance, we say using the alt attribute on image not only help visual and pleasing users but also improve SEO. Similarly, the ID and class attribute are essential. Now we say class attribute and ID. Okay, this might be very tricky. I might just brush through this. So we have ID. ID are a unique identifier to a particular element, to a particular tag. You do not repeat an ID twice. That means an ID is unique, so it can stay in one place. So I have to be add. So it is unique to this particular one. So when you want to use something and a common name that you want to use it from one place to, you also want the name to be on your name main, you also want the name to be on your aside. That is what we call classes. It is an identifier, but it is not unique. Let's say you can do general, and so I can have this class on this main here. It's another attribute. I can have it on my side here. So that is class. But IDs are unique. The same way you know your ID card is unique to you, your matric number is unique to you. That is what ID should be. ID is unique to each element. So the value of this ID should not be passed to main. Because by the time you are coming to JavaScript and you want to specify it and you want to use something very unique, you use ID. Even in CSS, you use ID for unique. So this is wrong by doing these like this. But ID should be unique. If I change this to main, it becomes unique, becomes different. So they are ID, like I said, is just to identify which is unique. And classes you can use it generally everywhere. It does not matter. Do you understand?
Yeah, thank you so much for today's session, Dorcas. I think we'll just be stopping here due to time. We're just stopping at the attributes, and in the next class, we might kick it off from paragraphs. Um, so, do we have anyone with questions? They can raise up their hands. Let us brush through that and call it a day. Anyone with questions, raise up your hands. Okay, I think I have someone in the. Okay, Castro. Yeah, I think I saw your chat, and I actually wanted to address that now. But okay, no problem. You have the floor. You can just say it out. Castro, you have the floor.
Please, can you read Castro's question as?
All right. So Castro said so just a line of thought. I just want to know if I am on the right track of thought. Am I correct to assume that with CSS, one can as well adjust the size of the text, like something bigger in
Yes,
each one?
yes. These sizes that you see here is the default sizes that come with HTML. That it is there. So with CSS, you can increase the size of this guy to be way bigger than this, and this guy to be way bigger than this. But sometimes we just leave this default styling because that's just it. You will, it's not you can, you will touch them when you come to your CSS. So with CSS, you can touch the size of every element there. So yes, you.
Okay, I think Obed Jeremiah has a question. Obed.
Thank you very much. My own question is that I want to know, can you use this ID and classes directly in HTML, or they must always be in CSS before you use them?
No, it is not about CSS or anything. This is it. We are just doing the HTML alone now, right? So they are an attribute. They are additional information to that particular element that you are touching. So that's why we say ID is a unique name. It has to be unique. It's not something that you have to use general by repeating the names for all of them. So that's why I say if you are repeating a particular name for all your tags, you use classes. An ID sorry, an id is unique. So these are additional informations to that particular element, so you have already used them here by saying it. It's just when it comes to css or javascript, it's just that when you want to touch a particular element and you're not touching it from the html part, this additional information, that is the id and the classes, you can use it to target that particular element. That's just it. But you were already start using it here by giving it that name and telling it that this is the additional information I want this particular header element to have. Is that clear? I hope I've answered that.
Yes, I got it, but the little confusion I have is that if I have used the classes, for example, as an attribute, now when I come to CSS, can I still use them as CSS properties to touch the elements?
Yes, you can still use them as CSS properties to touch the elements. That means you are using it to touch that particular element on its own. So yes, you can still use it, but
Okay,
you're already using it from the HTML.
okay, thank you, ma.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you everyone. So we'll call it a day for this class. So the link to this HTML tutorial will be sent to the group, so you can just follow and just brush over it and revise. So one thing about coding is that you need to be practicing. You need to constantly be going through everything you learned. If not, you just kind of like forget. You forget it sharp sharp. So just always try this weekend. Try and practice. Try and go over it. And also a very quick exercise and assignment will be dropped on the group very early tomorrow morning, so that we can just go over what we've learned. We'll send the assignments to the group. The submission will be on Monday, probably in the afternoon. That will be like the deadline for the submission. And apart from that, the recording will also be sent to the group this time around. And the link to this class will also be sent to the link to these tutorials that we used today will be sent to the group, so you can just go over it. Yeah, that will be all for now from my end. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice night.
And if you have any other questions, any other thing, you can also just post it on the group. We'll be there. Thank you, everyone. All right, bye. Good night, everyone. TGIF, don't stay out late. Bye.